students, this is Sanjay Kuwar. Welcome back to the online learning series of Chaur English Medium School, Shahada. Today we are going to learn a poem from a railway carriage by Robert Louis Stevenson from Standard 7th, subject English. Robert Louis Stevenson was born on 1850 and he died in 1894. He was a Scottish novelist, poet and travel writer. He is also well known for his evergreen work, Treasure Island. Let us see the introduction of the poem. Dear students, we like to travel at different places. We travel by bus, car, train, aeroplane, etc. Traveling is a great source of happiness. In our childhood days, we had fascinations towards traveling in train. In his poem, From a Railway Carriage, Robert Louis Stevenson shares the thrilling experiences of his first railway journey. He describes the sights which he notices while traveling in the train. Now, dear students, let's read the whole poem. The first stanza of the poem: faster than ferries, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along like troops in a battle, all through the meadows, the horses and cattle. Let's see the second stanza of the poem. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain, and ever again in the wink of an eye painted stations whistle by. Now the third stanza of the poem. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles all by himself and gathering brambles. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and there is the green for stringing the daisies. Now the last stanza of the poem. Here is a cart run away in the road, lumping along with man and load. And here is a mill and there is a river, each a glimpse and gone forever. Now dear students, let us understand the whole poem stanza wise in detail. Let me read the first stanza. Faster than ferries, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along like troops in a battle, all through the meadows, the horses and cattle. In the first stanza of the poem, the poet tells that the train is moving faster than the ferries and the witches. Fairies and the witches are the magical creatures. They can go around anywhere within seconds. But the poet here says that the train runs faster than them. The train rushes forward like soldiers who attack their enemies in the battlefield. The compartment of the train moves forward like soldiers marching forward towards their enemies for attacking on them. Then the train leaves behind the bridges, houses, hedges and ditches. Hedges means the rows of bushes or the trees. It also leaves behind the meadows, that is the grassland, where the horses, cattle, they are grazing. Now dear students, let's see the second stanza of the poem. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain, and ever again in the wink of an eye painted stations whistle by. In this stanza, the poet says that all the sides of the hills and the plain were being crossed by the train as quickly as the drops of the rain falling one after another. All sides are said to fly to give us an idea of the great speed of the train. Then in the next moment, many painted stations they appear and then disappear in a glance due to the speed of the train as it whistles by. Now let's study the third stanza of the poem. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles all by himself and gathering brambles. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and there is the green for stringing the daisies. Dear students, in this stanza, the poet describes that there is a child who clambers and scrambles. It means that the child is climbing up the steep ground with difficulty, and he is also gathering their blackberries. The poet also sees a tramp. A tramp is a wanderer or a person with no home, job or money. He looks at the train in amazement. As the train moves forward, the poet sees some ladies making garlands of daisies on a green patch of the village land. Now let's study the fourth stanza of the poem. Here is a cart run away in the road, lumping along with man and load. And here is a mill and there is a river, each a glimpse and gone forever. Dear students, in this last stanza of the poem, the poet tells us that he notices a cart outside the railway carriage, which is lumping along with man and load. It means the cart is moving slowly with the difficulty due to its heavy load with the cartman sitting on it. The poet also sees a river and a mill. All these scenes are momentary and disappear in a very short time. Dear students, in this way, the poet describes the different sights which he notices while traveling in the train. Now, dear students, let us discuss the theme of the poem. The joy that we get from traveling is the major theme of the poem. It also provides us a chance to see the natural beauty which refreshes our mind. Now, dear students, let us study the figure of speech used by the poet in this poem. First, simile. A figure of speech that directly compares two different things with words such as like or as. For example, and charging along like troops in a battle. Here, in this line, the movement of the train is compared to the troops. Second, alliteration. It is the figure of speech in which a series of words begins with the same consonant sound. For example, faster than Ferris, faster than witches. In this line, the sound of the letter F is repeated for the poetic effect.